Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Kim Duramo, founder of the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine, and welcome to MindBody TV. Today's episode, I'm going to share, it's a question that comes up almost every day when people are thinking about self-healing, mind-body healing, that there's this contrast, like, well, if I use medications, am I sort of contradicting myself? Is it going to interrupt what I'm doing? Shouldn't I just heal all by myself and just like not have to do anything? And there's this like dyad, it's a dichotomy between two worlds. How do we mesh those worlds together where we can use resources but still be aligning with inviting self-healing? So are medications bad for self-healing? Is it wrong? Is it a contradiction? Or can I incorporate all of it? And that's what we're going to address in today's MindBody TV. Now, most of you know who have been following me for a bit or tuning into my work that I'm trained as a conventional physician, both in osteopathic, which is about self-healing, the body's ability to heal itself, and conventionally trained medicine as a board-certified emergency medicine doctor. And so for sure, I have had to ask this question and really rectify this, like, how do these worlds combine? And how do we live from a space of honoring the body's ability to heal itself while still being able to receive resources like surgery or medicine, or even things that are like natural resources like supplements or nutrients, vitamins, diets, things outside of us that are supportive to the body? How do we integrate this from a space of alignment with wisdom? So if you've had that question or thought, geez, shouldn't I just heal all by myself and not need anything, or just felt like it was a contradiction somehow, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have you here. I'm going to be looking on the page where we are broadcasting at Addicted to Yoga so that I can see what questions come up, and I welcome your comments and your questions. I am at drkimd.com. So here we go. Well, basically, this is something I've seen for a long time, and I have a great story from a friend of mine who definitely was along the alignment of mind-body healing and wanting to invite her body to heal, and at the same time was really clear that surgery was part of the equation for her. She had really severe endometriosis and was kind of under this idea, especially with a lot of the teachers that she was following or people she was learning from, that she needed to avoid surgery. But her wisdom, the more she aligned with her wisdom, the more she had this awareness that, no, this is a fit for me. This is part of the equation. And then because of the alignment, we can call in those resources, align with those resources, find like the exact right surgeon or medication or supplement or whatever practitioner that is a fit for us. So it's not separate. It's not exclusive. And the more she really aligned with her truth, the more this felt like it resonated for her. And she has an amazing story because, let me actually plug in my, get off Wi-Fi so we can have a better connection here. I know this was a problem last week, so I'm sorry. So basically, our greatest gurus or teachers are saying, the wisdom within knows, and she did successfully have this amazing experience where she completely healed from the endometriosis. But it was an incorporation of different things that she did. And that happens a lot. We have this idea that medications are bad, that surgery is bad, that pharmaceuticals are this bad thing. And so we live in the duality of that judgment. Likewise, certain foods we think are bad, are wrong. I should eat this, I shouldn't eat that. And so then we live in this judgment and this limitation that is very detrimental. And we don't need to do that. We don't need to carry that, because your wisdom may have something more for you that goes beyond what you've learned, that goes beyond what you think, that goes beyond those judgments. It can be really hard because we've learned so much about, especially with food, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, and then we try to make choices for our body from that judgment. And that is what keeps so many people stuck, is we're trying to get better from a space of the mind instead of really connecting with the wisdom, which is through the space of the heart. There is immense wisdom within your body, within yourself. And so if you're connecting with it, you can access that and have that awareness. But if you're stuck in these judgments or like learning, I got to learn more, and what should I be eating? What should I not be eating? What should I be doing? It's going to limit you very significantly. So have you had anything like that come up where it's like, wait, here's this opportunity to work with a practitioner, or, I'm on medications. Is it going to inhibit my self-healing? Those questions come up really, really frequently from people in my community. Do I need to get off my medications before my body can heal itself? And the answer is no. If your wisdom is telling you that you don't need those medications anymore, then certainly follow along and listen and, see your practitioner to make the changes that need to happen, be responsible about that in the way that makes sense. But you can really trust something higher. There's a higher principle that can allow your body to heal. And likewise, it may be calling you to use a medication, to use a certain procedure, to use a certain practitioner. So certainly it's something that comes up a lot for a lot of people. So getting unstuck from duality. Yes, Sean. And welcome to everyone joining on the live. Randy says, the biggest challenge that I'm still having is releasing all the fear that's keeping me from seeing options. The hair loss is getting so extreme. Every day big handfuls come out. I try to release attachment, but I'm so afraid. The foods and supplements I've been trying on my own haven't been helping, yet I'm still not seeing the options to be able to afford a doctor. And then there's still a sense of shame that I can't see that yet. Yeah, so all these layers that come on of like, there's something wrong with me that I can't get out of this. So witnessing that and just allowing that and breathing through that, those layers of shame or wrongness, but also when we're in fear, we can't see options. We aren't in our clarity. We are blocking our wisdom. So we're trying to like scamper around and get what we need when what's really required is to allow the body to release the fear. So one of the things I've done that's been very helpful that I learned from my mentor, Sylvie Olivier, is to physically touch my body. Now, I had known about this, like there's studies that when we take, skin on skin, and if you just run your hand down your arm slowly, or even just on your neck, like, okay, body, it's okay, I'm right here, like infinitesimally slowly, like you can barely even see your hand moving along your body. You just let yourself feel your hand touching your body, or with your hand, feel, what does my arm feel like? So you're bringing your mind into a different focal point. I had known, this increases your oxytocin, this decreases your cortisol, stress hormones, increases your endorphins. There are a lot of studies to show what happens physiologically and chemically in the body when we do this. But for some reason, it was just information. When I worked with Sylvie, and it was really to expand beyond fear, to expand into abundance, to expand into truly living fluidity and joy and freedom, it required that I release fear. Like, not an option. You cannot carry this fear and still live in freedom and fluidity. So I needed to practice this. And the only thing that could move me through those intense moments, because as we expand into our greatest freedom, it's going to bring up our greatest fear, right? If like I let myself have it all, joy, ease, love, all the things that come up are the beliefs of why I shouldn't have it. Wait, no, you're not good enough. You shouldn't have this. Or the other shoe's going to drop if you're too happy and too joyful. Or, geez, if you take it easy too much, something bad's going to happen. Like, you won't have what you need. You got to work. So all these implanted belief systems that I didn't know I had came up, and they came up to be released. And so what I would just do every time, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, and just touch my body gently. And I would allow my physical body, my electromagnetic body, to release the energy of the fear, to release those ideas, which ideas and thoughts, beliefs, are energy. and they're energy that can get locked in the body, and they're energy that can get replayed over and over by the mind, and it's a pattern. So you can actually communicate with your body this way. Just gently touch your body and let your body know, I see you, I feel your fear. It's okay for you to let this go. And so just relax your shoulders, breathe fully, and allow the body to release this energy. It's crazy, but sometimes we don't remember that we are connected with our body and that our body can do all kinds of really magical things. And it's a miracle. Our body is a freaking miracle. And to allow it to do these things will really serve us. So I let my body, and it didn't happen in one time. It happened over weeks and months of releasing all of these fears. There were so many of them. And allowing more and more fluidity, allowing more and more expansion, allowing more and more freedom. And then there were incredible things that have happened in my life as a result. You know, getting pregnant is one of the main ones, right? At 44 years old, out of nowhere without trying, after having tried for a long time, it was such a gift. And I know it was because I let my body settle down out of fear and into more resilience. So Randy, it's great to notice that the fear is still present, right? And that it's keeping you from seeing options or having the clarity of like, oh, this is what I can choose. This medication or this surgery or this supplement or this diet regime or treatment program. Like there are so many things out there. And if we're not in clarity, we're going to be in a freaking wild goose chase. And it can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it can absorb 90% of our life and our attention trying to get better, trying to heal. Oh, I got to do this thing. Oh, I got to do that thing. Especially the way that things are marketed today. It's like, oh, here's the next great thing. You got to do this. And you're like, oh, yeah. When you are in fear, you are so susceptible to falling off that path, to following this other person who says, here's what you need to do. Here's what you should do. I have the next new solution and the fanciest thing, and you need this. And you're like mesmerized, like, yeah, I need that. So it's very hypnotic. And there is this whole fear-based marketing strategy that, I don't know what percentage, it's higher than 90% of the companies, the health-related companies out there are using to hook you. It's not the same thing as those of us who are here to assist you in connecting with your serenity, your wisdom, your knowing, your body's ability to heal itself. So mind-body medicine becomes not this like side game where it's like, oh, I'm going to do my supplements and I'm going to do my exercise and I'm going to do da-da-da. And here's this mind-body thing over here that they're all separate. It's this inner alignment that is the guiding center for everything. All right, so I have a word from a sponsor. We have a sponsor for this show, which is very exciting, called IQU. And this is basically a company that has created a blueprint for assisting you in getting more information from your body. Now, this is still going to be a snapshot. It's not the same as like your body's wisdom, but it's an awesome way to look at what is happening in my body and what is required for me to have ideal health. There's so many books about like, you should eat this, you shouldn't eat that, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. And it's like a one-size-fits-all kind of recommendation. But what IQU has done is created a way to find what's going on in your body, your unique, specific body, and what's happening for you right now to give you this blueprint for your health. You can go to bit.ly, it's bit.ly/IQYOU, for more information. But this will help you get a blueprint of awareness of like, what's going on for me? What are the things that will serve me? What are the things I could or maybe could not do that will really support my health in a much more specific blueprinted way? So they have an online program that will give you answers and help you kind of look into that. If that is interesting to you, it's certainly something that's worth exploring. It's bit.ly/IQYOU. So I'm kind of excited to share that opportunity and that resource with you, because it kind of goes along with what I share. It's not a one-size-fits-all, let me operate from judgment and here's what I should do. And likewise, don't go to resources like this from fear, like, yeah, I need the next thing, I got to do that thing. But if this resonates with you, you'll know, like, oh, that could really serve me. That could really support me. Let me explore this possibility. So feel it out and, feel into whether that is going to be supportive for you and contribute to your health. It's always really smart to ask, not like, what should I do? What should I eat? Who should I work with? But to ask, will this contribute to me? Will making this choice contribute to me? And so getting back to some of these questions, yeah, your hair's fallen out, Randy, and that's really a result of the fear you've been holding electromagnetically. It will translate into chemical, hormonal, physiological experiences in the body. So there might be like your thyroid's off, or, that we could find something medically that's going on, but it stems from an electromagnetic disruption in the body. Fear is an energy state that is very toxic to the body. So we can just surrender and allow, relax the body, take a few deep breaths, and allow the body to release the energy of fear. We don't have to fear the fear, right? Like, oh wait, I'm holding on this fear, so that's a really bad thing. You can let that go, just noticing like, wow, there's a lot of fear. And so my physical body is responding to that. So there can be a lag time when we release this electromagnetic state, and then when the body begins to repair itself. It'll start happening immediately, but there can be this little bit of lag time for that to complete. And as it completes, you don't need to pay attention to like, oh my God, it's still happening, it's still happening. Pay more attention to the serenity within you and allowing more stillness and allowing the energy to release. Okay. So someone is saying, Ekwe is saying, think of the body as a frightened little child and nurture it accordingly. That's beautiful. Exactly. Sean says, self-touch is my favorite, especially whilst in the sauna or soaking essential oil baths. It's a really beautiful thing, and it's crazy how we're trained to not touch ourselves. We're trained to not touch other people. Like, you got a license. You have to have a license to touch another person in a therapeutic practice, right? Like a massage therapist or a doctor or whatever, in order to touch someone, because we're in a society that's really really taboo about the physical body and about touching the physical body, especially about touching your own body. Like, well, I'm not going to touch my body anywhere below the chin, well, your body wants nurturance, your body wants love, your body wants to be touched and to feel good and to be resourced this way. And so physical touch is really, really valuable medicine. What about chronic emotions such as sadness, is asked by Ivana. So every emotion, anything that we're feeling is energy in motion. It wants to move. When we suppress it, when we ignore it, when we distract ourselves from it, we do this with kids like, oh, don't cry, let's go play a game. And the kid's like, well, okay. It's like, wait, can I finish this moment and then move on to the joy? There's nothing wrong with sadness. There's nothing wrong with fear. It's when we suppress it and repress it and work to avoid it that it becomes toxic. That's when the body gets sick. So any of our emotions, can you make some space for your sadness, Ivana? Can you honor the depth of your sadness without reluctance or without buying into the idea that it's never going to end if you give it space, right? Like, this is crazy what we think, but sometimes we do meet the depth of hopelessness or pit of despair. And can I just sit in that for 10 seconds completely willingly without needing to make it go away, or sit with it, not so that it will go away, sit with it so that it will have my presence. That's what allows the energy to move. So it's not, okay, I'm giving you my attention. Why isn't it moving yet? It's so much more about like, oh, what my body really needs is my loving attention. And that's what allows the energy to move. So I would certainly make space for your sadness. And then there's clarity. We come back into that alignment and we have the awareness of, oh, this is what will contribute to me. This is what I can choose. And also the awareness of, oh, I don't even need all of these things. I can get rid of all these supplements and I don't need to be in this disciplined food diet regime, I can allow some serenity to come into my body and have it be a lot simpler than that. So the clarity will come in to know what choices will really contribute to you, but you've got to really be with those emotions so the energy can release and you can be in the stillness. Chrissy says, I slept about 4 hours 2 nights ago, awoke 3 hours after I fell asleep at 9:30, wide awake, got my red light out and amber glasses and had a relaxing tea and tapped on some things for part of my time. The next 2 days I decided to treat myself gently and as well got some sunshine. It really helped. The decision to be gentle on myself was the best. No judgments on losing sleep. I let my body's wisdom lead me to that. That's beautiful. It's crazy, but it's like we have these ideas like, I didn't get enough sleep, so that's bad. I'm going to be so tired. It's going to be a mess. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. And then we go into this fabrication of that experience. Sometimes our body can just get what it needs anyway, and we move through, but it has to be that we're in the fluidity of allowing it. Like, all right, I didn't get great sleep. I did the best I could. Can I move through this day fluidly and call on other resources, known and unknown, that I move through this and I'm absolutely fine. And maybe I make up the sleep later, or maybe it just all is neutralized and I'm totally fine and I can allow that. What could I receive that could allow that to happen? So really being willing to be in a bigger mind space than your judgments say is possible. That's really the key. Okay. Oh, the site can't be reached. Okay, Sean, thanks for pointing that out. I guess the IQU bit.ly link isn't working right now. We'll get that fixed. Thank you. But you can go to the iquhealth.com. That's their website, iquhealth.com. Thanks for checking it out. Let me know what you think about that. And we'll get that bit.ly link fixed very quickly. Emily says, I think not being touched much positively for about 2 decades was a definite contributor to later illness. Feeling better, definitely feeling better after having released the idea that it was my fault. Oh boy. Yeah, we can put that on ourselves a lot. Like, it's my fault that I got sick. Especially when we embrace this idea of mind-body healing. I had that when I had this whole, couple years of being sick with this autoimmune disease. Carried this idea like, well, it's coming from me, so it's up to me, so I've got to be better, and I've got to fix this, and I've got to, what am I doing wrong? I need to do something right. And it was like, no. Health doesn't come from me, it comes through me. Can I open to allow myself to receive it? And for most of us, it's like, can I just love myself more? Can I be more generous with myself? Can I just let myself have what I need and dump the idea that that's not possible, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not working enough? That was a huge part of my expansion in the last year, because I thought I needed to work hard enough in order to kind of earn this abundant, beautiful, fluid lifestyle. And there was guilt if I didn't. So instead of continuing to run the rat race and prove that I'm good enough, and not feel the guilt, I just let myself feel it. Wow, all that unworthiness. Wow, all the wrongness. Wow, all the fear the other shoe's going to drop if I receive too much. And just let myself move through those energies so that I could surrender and have this incredible abundance and ease and freedom. Ease beyond what I ever thought I would really give myself. So, a lot of times people will say, well, I know you're super crazy busy, but blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, it would be such a contradiction for me if I were actually living in overwhelm and being busy. If I were actually, here I am sharing this message and inviting others into fluidity, but I'm secretly living in overwhelm. No freaking way. I tried it for years to do more and do more so that I could have success, and it never works. And I'm living proof. I am sure that I'm sure that I'm sure. And so you don't even have to try it anymore. You could just surrender it and know, okay, busyness is not ever going to get me to the true success of that fruition of what I really want. What will is choosing it and then letting everything that comes up that says I can't, and like, letting myself move through it. And you can use these body practices. You can use the breath. The Instant Elevation Program is an awesome resource that I created to guide people through all of the specific tools that I love that help the body release and kind of come into a new electromagnetic alignment. That can be found at drkimd.com/IEP. That's the Instant Elevation Program. It's sort of my online program for those of you who are interested in going further into this work, and it helps you have more awareness of what your body's really capable of doing, and like activating the magic of your body, activating the self-healing. And it might not look like you thought it was supposed to look. It might not look like, I just want to be free from pain and keep everything else exactly as it is and stay in this rat race, but now I just don't have that pain. Well, maybe the pain is there to guide you into a huge awakening, to be a whole different person than you ever thought you were meant to be, but that it's 1,000 times better than that hamster wheel you were on or the objective you were trying to meet, and that you can embrace it and thank it and let it guide you. And then when the pain's no longer needed because you've stepped into the fruition of yourself, I guarantee you it will resolve and dissolve. But it's like waiting for you to receive the gift. You've got to open that gift. So a lot of people come to this work as a fix. Like, okay, well, is it going to help me get rid of this? Is it going to help me get rid of that? And the answer is it's going to bring you into the highest expression of you, the most fulfilling expression of you. And what that looks like is going to be what that looks like. And yes, it is what allows the body to release pain, but it's through embracing the gift, not through getting rid of or fixing the pain or making it go away and like, all right, I'm going to stay in my regularly scheduled program, but now I don't have that illness anymore. Or I'm going to stay in my regularly scheduled agenda, but now I don't have that problem. Usually it's you're in for so much more than what the mind thinks you're here to receive. So can you receive the gift of your illness? That's what was required for me. I didn't want it. I mean, I thought like, no, let's just get rid of this and I'm going to go on with my achieving and doing and running and whatever I was doing. And life had way, way more in store for me because I didn't have to fight. I didn't have to work for it. I could allow things to come effortlessly. I could engage in my actions in a way that was so effortless and joyful that it was never work. So that's really the gift of what this work has for you, what your inner wisdom has for you. And so the ideas we have, sometimes it's like we gotta dump them all, and everything you've learned and all the books on the shelf are like, can we just burn those and let that go and come into a higher space of awareness? That is the invitation. Okay, I'm gonna look at a few more questions, and certainly you're welcome to join me at drkimd.com and subscribe. That's where I'll be sharing these broadcasts and other videos that I make and things like that. I also am in the MindBody community in Facebook, where I answer questions and help people incorporate this work that I'm sharing. I'll be here every week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And you're welcome to like the Addicted to Yoga fan page so that you get the prompting when we go live, and it will pop up on your Facebook feed. Again, I'm at drkimd.com, and I will look over the thread if you have other comments for those of you who are listening to the recording, so I can address those and share further with you. I will be having a baby very soon, sometime in the next few weeks, couple weeks. And so we'll take a couple weeks break from our live, so just so people are aware of that. But we'll be back for sure every Wednesday and continuing, and I'll let you know before that break happens. So Jennifer, so wonderful to see you too. Thank you for everyone for the hearts and the likes and things that are coming across the screen, because I always love to see that. Yeah, so let yourself have more freedom with your choices and less judgment about what's right and what's wrong for your health, and more alignment with your wisdom. And I'm willing to receive all things in grace and ease. I have one more story. Speaking of the pregnancy, I had a C-section with my first delivery, my first child, and I had this expectation and plan to have a natural birth. We were at home, you know, I wanted to deliver vaginally, and that wasn't the way she was meant to come into the world. That wasn't what she needed and what she required. But it was really hard for me because I had thought, like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't my body open to this? Why didn't this go the natural way, or the way I thought it was supposed to go? And it was really hard to kind of like swallow that pill. It took, well, probably a couple of years to really integrate that experience, because there was this wrongness of that path of requiring surgery. And one of the biggest things this did for me is it birthed me into a new life of, I receive all things in grace and ease, including medication when required, including surgery when required, and let go of the chip on my shoulder I had about good and bad, right and wrong with the field of medicine or healing. Like, there's one way to do it, and oh, it's got to be all natural, or it's got to be this way without medication. Now, certainly, I'm not, you know, going to go and, hey, just medicate me up, let's do that. You know, there's a balance to like what's really right for me, what really fits for me. But I am so aware that I'm willing to receive, if needed, a surgical procedure, a medication. Like, there's no wrongness in it anymore, and that is true fluidity. I mean, being in ease with all that is true fluidity. So for all of us who are in resistance to that and have these ideas and thoughts, just be willing to look at that like, oh, I'm in resistance against the medical field or against these ways of doing it, and I have this chip on my shoulder that this is the right way to do it, and there's judgment there. Judgment creates resistance. Judgment blocks healing. So I'm in a very different place now, going into my second delivery, to be willing to receive however it is meant to go and move through that fluidly without making it wrong, without having expectations. And certainly there's awareness of how I would prefer it. Like, that's different than having this hardcore expectation of like, it has to go this way, because there was so much hardness to that. And of course, with creating and birthing and delivering either a baby or any part of our life, anything we're wanting to come into manifestation requires a softness and an opening and an allowing. That is exactly what allows the body to heal. So I'd invite you to move into your own version of that softness and your own version of that allowing. I receive all things in grace and ease without judgment. And let me know what happens. And everyone who's just coming, enjoy the broadcast, and I look forward to connecting with you more fully. Again, the program, if you'd like to go deeper, is the Instant Elevation. That's on my website, drkimd.com. And you could go to drkimd.com/IEP to participate in that program. I will see most of you in the MindBody community, and I look forward to connecting more fully soon. Lots of love, and I'll be thinking of you, and see you soon.